what I noticed with White is that he would appeal to theologians like Ludwig Ott,
Right.
who themselves elsewhere kind of undermine some things that he says. For instance, Ludwig Ott himself notes that when we speak of the fires of purgatory, this was
Mhm.
never taught by the magisterium,
Right.
and nobody is bound to believe it. But have you noticed that what he'll do is he'll appeal to some of these theologians as if they're authoritative,
Right.
as if they're magisterial? That's
Oh,
one thing I noticed.
that's what I was disappointed, and I called that out in the debate. I said,
Uh-huh.
"Look, if we're going to discuss the church's teaching on purgatory, you can't just cite Ott or FX Shoup or other theologians.
Hmm.
You should cite what the church teaches." And that would be the same thing if I was critiquing Protestant doctrines. Now, Protestants don't have a universal magisterium,
Right.
and sometimes it is helpful. Like if I'm sure in Sola Scriptura, my Sola Scriptura debate, I cited White himself. So it makes sense to cite your own opponent in a debate. But in my
Hmm.
works, I cite, for example, the Westminster Confession
Right.
on the issue of Sola Scriptura to say, okay, well, what is Sola Scriptura? Let's go to the Westminster Confession. How is it defined there? I've used language earlier in our interview, like the do and ordinary means. That's from the Westminster Confession.
Right.
So I'm trying to appeal to what's most authoritative for the person I disagree with. And much the same, I would say, look, I cited paragraphs 1030 to 1032 of the Catechism. And White said, oh, that's just purification. That's not talking about the temporal punishment of sin. And I said, okay, fine. I'll cite paragraph, I think it's 1472 of the Catechism on indulgences, which refers to post-mortem punishment of sin. So I'm going from the official sources here. That's what you need to cite. It'd be similar if we were engaging Mormons and we
Hmm.
were debating Mormon doctrine. We would cite the official teachings of the Mormons, not just, oh, well, Brigham Young said this. Okay,
Yeah.
but not everything Brigham Young said is believed by Mormons today. And I think
Right.
that's an important distinction there.
Yeah, I've seen this a lot from Protestants, including White. They might appeal to some odd prayer that some Catholic had about the Virgin Mary that goes a little too far. And I just want to say in those cases, well, hey, look, I agree with you, Protestant, that this prayer is wrong. Now what? That doesn't really do anything to
Right.
move the needle for me. We
No.
have to talk about what is authoritative. And
Right.
what I'll hear White doing is, even when he tries to move in the right direction and maybe talk about the Pope, he'll then appeal to things that are non-magisterial from the Pope, something that the Pope said off the cuff or something like that.
Right.
Um, so I think that there is often in these discussions a misunderstanding on
Right.
how Catholic authority works
Yeah.
that they're just missing. And so most of their arguments, they really just don't land with a Catholic who understands authority.
Right. Exactly.
Hey friends, do you want others to discover why the Catholic Church is the church that Jesus established? And do you want to help people make sense of all the confusion in the Catholic Church today? Help contribute to this mission by supporting Reason and Theology at patreon.com/Reason and Theology. By doing so, you'll also get access to exclusive content for patrons only. Also, if you want to deepen your faith, there are free ebooks and even courses that you can sign up for by visiting reason.podia.com. Are you a Catholic thinking about converting to Eastern Orthodoxy? Or are you a Protestant discerning whether or not to become Catholic or Eastern Orthodox? If so, I have the book just for you. It's called Answering Orthodoxy. It engages all of the arguments that Eastern Orthodox use against the Catholic Church. I respond to all of them. I show that they are in error, and in fact, they're inconsistent, because the things that Orthodox are objecting to are in fact found in their own tradition. So the fullness of the faith can only be found in the Catholic Church. Check out the book right now at shop.catholic.com for your copy today.